Why Not God, Part 3, by Albert Torcaso, 412-559-2731. Now, in the earlier videos, we're speaking about God. Now, in this particular episode, I mentioned that at the end of the other video, that there are books that were supposedly written that should have been included in the Bible, and as far as the other religious books, I can't answer that. But there were books left out of the Holy Bible, including the Gnostic books. In fact, they even have a Gnostic Bible, which many Christians, I think, see it as blasphemy, and there's another word, heresy, I think it is. But as I was saying in that video, who are we to edit any words of God? If there is a Mary Magdalene book of God, who are we to determine whether it was really written and told to her from God or Jesus or maybe angels? Who are we to decide that? It is an abomination to edit the words of God or not include them. Now, I know they're going to say there were scholars, there were theologians, a whole bunch of people over the years. Okay, I get that. But here's where there's a problem with all that. Why not have two versions of the Bible? Hear me out. I know that sounds crazy. But have two versions, and in one version that you produce throughout till the end of time, you would say all original books included may or may not actually be the Word of God, but were included in case that they were, in the event that they are accurate depictions of the words of God. Yeah, basically a disclaimer. And then you have the versions that we have now. But to actually think you have the right, I don't care if you're a theologian, a scholar, I don't care what you are, to say you have the right to edit the Word of God. We're talking about the Word of God. We're talking about a creator that can speak life right into being. The entire universe in 7 days. 6 or 7 days. 6 days. Because on the seventh day, he rested. I don't care what Bible you have. I don't care what religious book you have. How do you not include every word? Whether you know it to be factual or not. Now, I suppose you can have an argument against it, but my point is, there's a lot of people who at one time in their life were Christian that are now atheists or another religion. And there are people who were atheists who are now Christian. And you can go to run the gamut. You know, there are people who were Muslim who are now Christian. There are people who are Christian that are now Muslim or Buddhist or whatever. It goes forever. But to edit the Word of God and to say that God would kill you because you did something, you sinned against Him. No. You know, there's a movie that came out back in the 70s. You might have heard of it. Matter of fact, there was a couple. You may have heard of it. Yeah, I'm going to show you my tie. See, I got my tie on. And I am Italian, of Sicilian descent. Now, there was this movie that a guy named Marlon Brando was in, the original. And oh my goodness, a guy named Al Pacino. It was the Godfather. Now, you know what's interesting about the Bible and the Godfather and the Mafia, the Italian Mafia or any Mafia, mafioso or organized crime? You know what God and organized crime has in common? If you sin against either God or the Godfather or the head of the mafia organization or criminal organization is going to have you killed. So we essentially are saying that God is a mobster. We're saying that God is evil. We're saying that God is as evil as Lucifer, Satan, the devil, the dark one. We're saying that God will whack you if you don't believe. Now the problem with that even, if God says we have free will, but if we choose not to believe in God, He's going to have us killed, that is not free will. You cannot have free will if you choose the wrong way and you're going to get killed. So the problem with all of this, it comes down to this. Number one, people have edited the supposed words of God. I don't know in other books, they certainly did in the Bible. You should not have ever edited one word of God. None of the people that edited are alive today. They're either in hell, purgatory, heaven, wherever, whatever exists. But they were wrong for editing the words of God. Now, here's the thing. What about today? February 20th, 2016. Okay, Al, you don't believe in any religious book. How can you say believe in God? I know God exists. Whether you believe in the version of Jesus or however you believe, God exists. God is as real as this machine I'm using, as real as you and I, as real as anything in your life. God is real. And we're going to talk about why I know, and I am absolutely certain, beyond all reasonable doubt, with the preponderance of the evidence, I can tell you and testify that God is real. And we're going to get to that in about New York second.